What about Triodos Bank itself? How did we work our way through all these crises and changes in the banking sector? We had strong growth again. You probably have heard about it, read about it. So it was again a year of more than 20% growth. Becomes increasingly interesting for our colleagues as well to see how do you manage today to have growth, because most of the banks are actually deleveraging, becoming smaller. We have a stable profit, and I think that has a lot to do with our business model. We have no speculative activities. We are close to our borrowers, and when they go well, we go well, and when they go less well, we go less well. So that's how it works. So stable profit, constant growth. And so that feels quite strong also for the future. But are we not affected at all by what is happening around us? Yes, we are also affected by that. Our borrowers, the projects we finance, also are affected by the economic climate, the recession. So their customers, so they're our customers, but their customers, they have unemployment issues. They have problems with losing jobs, having less to spend. So also they suffer from what is happening in the general economic climate. They're quite strong. They're involved in sectors who seems to be relatively strong compared to the whole economy. But yes, they're also affected to that. So what we have seen that also in Triodos, provision for bad loans has gone up a little bit. Not at all compared to other banks, much less, but really we had to put some money aside as well to be sure that if our customers will not do as well as we expected, we have some money there in the bank for that. What we also are affected by, and I mentioned it already, that interest rates have become extremely low. And for a bank who is not taking the money from the money markets, but is completely and wants to be completely rely on deposits, they cannot offer much to their depositors anymore. And when there is a surplus, we cannot invest it yet. We have to put it in a safe place like the European Central Bank or the Central Bank. Doesn't really make a difference. And it's interesting that also our regulators don't want us to put much money with other banks. They want us to put our money at a safe place. So interesting enough, we are in a total different position than many other banks. When we have surplus money, we have to put it at a safe place and actually losing money with that. We pay, what is it, between 0.8% to 2% interest rate, and when that money, that surplus money, is placed at the European Central Bank, it's zero. So we have to manage that, and that is also where we have to manage the effects of a financial crisis. It goes rather well. We think we can grow our loan portfolio successfully, but that is something we have to deal with, and I want to share that with you. It's not that we are a little island, completely isolated from the rest. We have to deal with those issues as well. Another thing what is not so easy to deal with is government policies. Not so long ago, and you see you all smiling, we all know it's a global thing. Although even I heard some colleagues said to me, in the past we felt that European governments were stable and reliable, and when we went to Asia or Africa they were not. Today it's maybe the other way around. There is more stability in some of the African countries, and we are active there as well with microfinance, as you know, than here in Europe, where governments come and go, new programs, stop programs, and that is something what is not very helpful for growing an economy and making the transition to a more sustainable economy. So governments are not particularly helpful, and we talk to them, we try to make clear to them, it's not about high subsidies or high support programs or very complicated regulation. It's more about stability, reliability, and then we can operate as a bank. Then we can develop things where you are also so interested in. So, for example, renewable energy is something what needs a proper, stable continuity of regulation from governments. If that's not happening, you can hardly finance 5, 10, 15-year projects. You can imagine. And then last but not least, we are a Dutch-based bank, and not all Dutch banks have gone so well. So we got another problem with a middle-sized bank 2 months ago, and then the other banks are asked to pay also to contribute to that situation of that bank. If we would have been a UK-based bank, that would go the other way, but we are a Dutch-based bank, so we have to pay. So I can tell you, the bank who went under, the SNS Bank, maybe some of you have heard about it, we have to pay 8 million euro to contribute to rescuing that bank. And the total amount of the bank was 1 billion, so we are tiny, but still 8 million euro is quite a lot of money. We could have done other things with that. So that makes it sometimes for our customers, for us, for the co-workers, a little bit sort of, well, we are trying to build another way of banking, and actually we also have to pay for the way others did banking, and that feels, well, we have to be very social in that, you can imagine. So, but it's part of being in this sector. We also should say, well, if we want to change something, we want to be part of a sector, this is also something you have to accept. And of course we hope it will be not overwhelming us. It's not, we can handle it, we can manage it, but that's part of being a bigger guy in the game. So that's what we are going to do. What about the future? We are quite positive about Triodos in the next years. Not only this year, we grow steadily. We see that many people in Europe, like in Spain for example, really like Triodos as an alternative. They like the different way of banking there, want to come to us, want to talk to us. So we have already 14 little offices in Spain all over the place, and you can sense there is a passion with people who want to engage with their bank again and feel they're part of something and not sort of pushed away. Well, the same in Germany, not that high numbers, but in Germany also we are growing, in Belgium, in the Netherlands. And what is new, that we have created a small office in France, in Paris. So we are with a small group, it's not an official branch yet, but we started in France with now 4 people who are exploring for us what is possible in the market there. And hopefully in 2 years' time we can say we're ready to open a full Triodos Bank branch in France. And we have already some experience in France. We are investing out of our office of Belgium in the French markets, going very well, working together with local French banks. So we feel France is the next country where we want to be visible, and we get a lot of positive response. So that's an important project for the next years. Another important project or projects is that we want to build our banks to real full service banks. So current account is very high on the list at the moment. We have current accounts in Germany, in Spain, in the Netherlands, but we are working on the UK. I think Charles will say a little bit about it, and Belgium. We don't have that yet, but we sense that especially young people like to really move their whole banking operation to another bank and not just their saving accounts. And that question has come to us for many years. The reason we didn't do it was it's quite costly. Doing a payment system is not a cheap operation, but we feel it's part of our grow path, and it's part of Triodos becoming a more mature bank and a full alternative for people. So that are the main projects we are working on, and we expect that we become more visible through those actions, so more visible in France, but also more visible in the countries we're already in, because we become a real full alternative. So very positive perspective in not such an easy economic and banking climate, but that makes it also to an interesting challenge for the now more than 800 people working for Triodos, and with all the support of the customers we are having. And also that group of people is growing fantastically. So we feel that we have a strong base where we can build on, and that's quite important. Thanks a lot.